Amazon's getting first pick, so we're set up here. Probably gonna remake really shortly, but after we get through these first little picks and bans, should be pretty quickly once everybody has everything figured out. How you doing, Pimp? Feeling pretty good for this game?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. We had another great game last game. A lot of good teamwork out of Google, and a lot of good moments from Merson Young as well, stalling out the game a little bit longer. But looking forward to this next game between Amazon and Epic.
Yeah, so Amazon, last time we saw them, pretty much played like a flawless game. I mean, the first game I ever cast for them was against Intel, and Intel is supposed to be one of the better teams, AHGL, especially this division. But they crushed. Like, it was like, I think like Amazon ended up picking like one lucky kill, or one dignity kill at the end, like when their Nexus was getting marched down. But then flip back to the game we casted last week, and Amazon looked like they were like a team on fire. You know, it was pretty much the reverse thing. So I'm kind of just to see what Amazon we're gonna get here. Like, are we gonna get the Amazon that rolls face and crushes, or are we gonna get the one that, or somewhere in between, or like, are we gonna get the one that just kind of, Epic comes back and steamrolls them? I'm not quite sure. But we're actually gonna see Gragas potentially for the third time now, I believe.
Yeah, he's been in both the games we did today. Could be chaos. Double support.
Misfortune not banned out, so we could see the Misfortune play from Epic. We'll have to see. Thresh, though, is locked in for sure.
Yeah, good to see him again. Give MF a little bit of an escape there. That'll be nice to see. It should be a fun ball lane. A lot of aggression.
Yep.
Leona making sure that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
We already have a Pantheon in the game.
We are forming up two cars, and they are going to speed towards each other, and we're going to have a car crash.
Yes.
That's spot lane.
Yes. One of them might be able to get out of it.
One might chicken at the last second.
Oh,
Jungleheimer!
please.
Jungleheimer, do it!
Just timer anywhere.
Yeah. He's fun on support too, as that natural regen. You can regen your turrets too.
Yes.
I'm getting pinged. This might be a proxy pick. All right, it's proxy, so this is gonna be not Heimerdinger. It's gonna be Nocturne.
All right, fair enough.
I know you were very sad, as are probably anybody that's gonna watch this VOD, but it is in fact Nocturne.
Okay, Nocturne's a good champion too.
All right. Let me message the other captain so he knows.
Yeah, they now have Nocturne Pantheon, so that's going to be some pretty good map presence as soon as they both hit 6. Probably see a 4-man dive in the bot lane. That probably puts Pantheon in the mid lane?
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Maybe top.
So I think what we saw last time, actually, from Amazon was they went Rumble top lane, Pantheon mid lane, Nocturne in the jungle, and they just played like an aggressive bot lane, and then, the bot lane eventually, like, everything got snowballed, so it wasn't a big deal, but, they really played to the strength of all those global alts, and it looks like the exact same team they're trying to build up again here.
Yeah, it worked for them last time, so why not do it again?
Oh, snap. Is this an Annie Morgana pick?
That is.
Or is it more proxy picks?
Well,
Annie is Hecarim.
Alright, proxy picks all over the place. We'll see the real picks when we remake the game.
Yeah, exactly. I was almost excited for the Annie Morgana team. So much burst damage, and then hopefully Morgana closes it out with the Soul Shackle, but that would be pretty scary.
Hecarim's actually going to be a good pickup. Going to be able to get to those fights that are going to be created out of nothing from Nocturne and Pantheon.
Yeah. Like it so far. Looks like it's going to be Graves on their AD. Can't remember off the top of my head who their AD was last time, but Graves seems to fit aggressive Leona lane.
Yeah, Graves and Leona is a good lane for sure.
Buddies.
Yeah, they're pretty good buddies down there in the ball lane.
So we'll have to wait and see what they're going to wrap up their team with. They have a couple more seconds. One. Oh, it's going to be Rumble.
Yeah.
Suspense. So that's kind of what we were expecting here, and that's the team that Amazon ran last time. It was hugely successful for them, so they're going to try to run it again here. Should be entertaining to see who they try to pick up for their top lane. Shen wasn't banned out. We could see that as another response again, to have like the Shen up in top lane. Although we know that their Rumble for Amazon actually is very, very comfortable playing against Shen in top lane, because last time he did really good against him. Although I feel like even though that Shen did pretty well, again, the key to that game was the early ganks. Like they tried to go in for these early ganks on Rumble that stalled out and didn't work out for them.
Yes.
But if they can pull that off, because I think the Rumble was pretty like overly aggressive, even like came back out at one point from turret when he was already low and stuff like that. Like if they can pick him up, I mean, it could be a different game and it could work out for him this game. So
Yes.
we'll have to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they put up there against him. I mean, I guess it's possible they put a hacker, but I just don't think that would be a good idea.
So,
Oh, they do get a type Jace.
So, Jace is pretty good. He can actually put a lot of harass onto Rumble.
Yeah.
Which
And he can
is weakness.
get out of those skills pretty easily. He's got a good kit for doing that, knocking him away and the acceleration gate to get out.
Yep. His knockaway actually also turns Rumble around, so his Flame Splitter's not even facing at him by the time the knockaway comes in too. So
yeah,
that's actually another good mechanic for him. His anti-Rumble play. Look, we see the switching going on. The crafty switching. We're not going to restart a room. I like this. I like that from both players. We hop in here. I believe that's correct. 1,609 normal games won. That's pretty impressive. It's a good number. It's up there. It's no 3K games out of some of these players, but no, it's actually it's a lot of time invested. So it'd be interesting to see where Wither is playing and pay a little attention to him and how his game goes. Everybody wanted to see the Heimer, bro.
Yeah. I played a lot. At the end of Season 2, I played a lot of Heimer jungle, and it's starting to seem okay now. I couldn't find a build I liked on him. And then we saw that Korean game coming out where they just went 4 mid with Heimer. And had Olaf clear top and bottom, and they won the game in 18-minute Nexus. That was against a team qualified for OGN, and that was for $5,000 and a qualification spot in OGN.
That's pretty
and they
awesome.
went 4 mid and won in 18 minutes.
That reminds me of like the old days with like promote. And like there was like the strat that like exactly at like 4 minutes into the game or whatever, but or I forget what it was, like what timing it was, but everybody would group up, like promote would be up and you just like 5 promote mid and push, and like it was the stupidest thing ever. That quite not that. I mean, like it's actually like something that obviously they planned for, a cheat strat they planned and executed properly. So you know, props to them. But still, like that's what it reminds me of. It takes me back to those old days.
Yes, and both teams with the bans here. Spelling out the team name.
Amazon and Epic doing it big. Always good when you don't ban out a champion that you shouldn't have. That's always awkward. Awkward moments.
Yep. Don't need another remake.
You're like, no, nice. I just wanted to spell our team name. You are banished.
Yeah, there's usually multiple choices. There's a couple letters where there's only one, but all those, I think, have multiple choices for people that you can ban out.
Yep, yep. Expect these picks to be a little bit quicker, but who knows? I gotta wait to get those masters just right, just so. When you do masteries, do you actually have pages already made out, or do you like enter them in? Because I have a few people that I know that like
there's a
still
lot
like
who just do
go
one
like
page.
What?
There's a lot who just do one page.
Yeah.
I don't. I have pages made up, but you know what? That's kind of confusing at times.
Yeah.
I think that's more for late nights where I'm not really on the ball. I have stuff set up, but that said, I had them set up and I knew what was what in Season 2, but I haven't really done that as well in Season 3. So when I'm going to look for my mastery pages, lately I've been a little off and usually just deleting my last one and remaking one.
Yeah, actually, I believe I still don't have an AD like masteries page. Not that it's hard to make, but like I have a bunch of planned ones out. None of them involve like AD. Like so I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh, Like I should probably like go and clean those up because before obviously like you had in season 2, I had like full room pages all set up for all these different champions and scenarios. Like for Rumble alone, I have like 3 or 4 or something stupid. But although I never use some of them, like I never use Rumble Jungle, like. But I kind of wish it worked.
Oh, you gotta do that sometimes. Yeah, I haven't tried it in season 3, but I did it a couple times in season 2. It's pretty funny. You just die every time you gank, but you usually get a kill too. So you just it's pretty hilarious. He does a lot of damage, but he just blows up because he doesn't have the farm to get any jankiness.
Yeah, poor Rumble. I say poor Rumble, but then like you just melt everybody's face in lane and like laugh.
Yeah,
the
he's
time, so
one of the
Rumble.
best top lane champions in the game because nobody knows how to play against him properly. The people who play him know how to play him really well.
Yeah, I mean because he's still very unique because like no one else uses heat, so it's like it's a mechanic unique completely to him, and like there's actually like a big like skill gap differential between like the players just kind of okay with him and the players that are really good with him because they can manage their heat better. You don't see them like unintentionally overheat a lot, which you'll see from a lot of just newer Rumble players, and then you silence yourself, and then like right as a gank comes in, you're like, all right, well I'm dead. Like.
Yeah, I mean, usually you want to be sticking around half heat to be able to deal that harass, but then when a gank comes in, sometimes you just panic and you're like, oh, I can't cast my ultimate.
But the cool part is he's like, really... he almost ends up being a little bit Brand-esque in the top lane because he's like one of those things like where like if the double gank comes in and like you've hit level 6 at all, like you're just like, all right, you just like run to the top little brush, and if they enter, you just drop ult and like turn on them and can sometimes get a double kill. So.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that at high levels lately, where Rumble's just getting ganked. He's a little bit ahead in lane because he usually is, and just blowing up whoever his lane opponent is because they're harassed down.
Yep.
Sometimes getting that extra kill on the jungler, usually just backing away. But yeah, he's a really strong champion that not a lot of people know how to play properly.
Yep. So, looking at these teams. We see Miss Fortune's taking Cleanse. That's her decision in that bot lane. Interesting that there's no teleport at all either. So that's going to make this global ult harass, which wasn't like when it came into play in the game that we saw last week, it wasn't even like really necessary because they had already been, doing well in their lanes. So it almost became a point where like we thought they like should have been like warding the enemy jungle and going after the jungler at that point because their lanes were so strong. Yep. So I'm interested to see how this game works out because I think Epic's going to give them a pretty good match in lane. Or at least like their players are, so should be fun to see how effective it is this time around. Because we know there were a few Grand Skyfalls that were a little bit late up top. Always goofing off though was pretty much money with his paranoia and his darkness ults. So actually had the one where he flashed and then ulted past turret into the base turret just to pick up a kill. So
yes,
should see some good action. And Nocturne players, like, that's kind of like the curse of Nocturne sometimes, too, though. Like, when you're not that far ahead and your Nocturne still does that because he can. He's like, oh, I gotta get this kill. Comes in, and then, like, next thing you know, he gets eaten alive by the enemy team.
Yeah, we look at these teams, and we are just going to see a lot of fights. There's not a whole lot of disengage other than Thresh. And I guess maybe Morgana, but usually that's to create a fight instead of being defensive. But yeah, there should be a lot of action in this game from start to finish, starting out of that bot lane really early. And Pantheon, last time he didn't get really aggressive early, and that's something I'd really like to see out of him. Pantheon has a really big advantage over people early, and not a lot of people play him that way.
Yeah, I mean, the cooldown on the spears especially, too, is just, like, nothing. I mean, you can spam those things like crazy if you want to get a lot of free damage.
And a lot of the damage is out of auto attacks early, and he gets shields for block auto attacks, so he negates a lot of that early damage.
Yeah, the tense head game that's going to go on is Pantheon trying to get in position to go in there and harass Morgana. Morgana holding on to Dark Binding to make sure that she can like use it to separate or get some pressure off of her, or like try to catch him to get damage on. Because if Pantheon just basically dodges that, or she gets it goes on cooldown. Like Pantheon's like full steam ahead. Like that's his key to like go in and like just get off tons of damage on Morgana. So she has to be pretty careful.
Yeah, and baiting out the shield versus the stun is going to be a big factor as well.
Yep, yep. Gonna test those reaction times.
Yeah, but like I said, last game, he didn't really go as aggressive. I can't remember who he was playing against. He did still get quite far ahead in the lane, but deciding to go for kind of a later game build instead of just pure aggression. They're both going to start out with a flask here in the mid lane.
That is a typical start we saw going on, although Flash did get nerfed, so it's not quite as the obvious route to go, a la the old days of Catalyst, when Catalyst is like, it's clearly the way to go.
Pretty much identical builds coming out. I mean, Jace picking up 2 mana or a couple mana pots and 1 less ward instead of just 9 pot 2 ward that Rumble went with, and we've got the beads coming out instead of the fairy charm there from Thresh. So very similar starts, just kind of in every lane. Boots 3 pots on both ADs, bottles on both the mids, and normal starts for the junglers.
Yeah, and we see the way these builds go too is Rumble obviously doesn't need mana, so he's going to pot up a lot more. Jace wants the mana, so he can harass. And in the mid lane, we see Pantheon picking up the extra. He's picking up a ward there because he's going to be the one that's going to be trying to get up there and get some auto attack harass off. And if he gets caught going in, and the jungler comes in, it could be a rough time for him in that mid lane. So he's going to have that early ward to kind of protect one of his sides so he can have a little bit of information before he decides to go in and put that pressure on. And hopefully we will see that pressure come in here, as that's kind of an indicator that he's going to want to be a little bit more aggressive than he was last time.
Should have a red buff steal here coming out of Team Amazon.
Yep. Amazon, again, looked really, really clean last time. They have a ward at their own red, so they will be able to see.
Spot it out, see if he gets caught. Nope. Just going to see it and walk to lane. I don't even know if he pinged it. Maybe they said it on voice. That red is going to go down. Is choosing to use the smite. We'll see if he comes straight bottom lane. There is a ward up though, so he'll be able to get out if he does do that.
Yeah, that's also going to tip them off that the red buff did go down. We'll see if Hecarim, who is actually very, very low here, looks like he's going to head towards that top lane. Jace running up towards that way as well. Rumble getting some free farm here. Jace did a pretty heavy leech. I have to imagine like something got reset there, because this Hecarim start is very, very low after that.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage he shouldn't have been taking there. We do see that harass out of Pantheon.
We actually did see as well that Nocturne actually used his smite at red buff as well, so that was down for his blue buff. He's able to take out blue buff pretty quickly here. See Hecarim looping around now towards that red buff, and that might Kia collapse, and this could actually be really big trouble for Hecarim, as we see Dark Binding just barely missing. Pantheon hasn't closed in on it. No one from Amazon closing in on this yet. I would have thought that would have queued off like a big collapse and him in a lot of trouble, but looks like he's going to be able to still take this red buff. And interesting pings going down now. Rumble trying to come around this bot side. Oh, lands the harpoon, gets a little bit of pressure off with the flame spitter, but looks like Jake's going to be able to clean this out for first blood, actually. Oh, Rumble actually able to pick off with that ignite. That little bit of tick coming in, backed up by always gifting off, throwing a little bit of damage on Nocturne. It'll pick that one off, although I think that means red buff goes nowhere. It goes into the ether, because Rumble was able to pick up that kill.
The double buffs are gone, so at least they answered with that. But they definitely could have had a catch there and just got the Hecarim for free. Just a little bit too late to rotate around. So
a little bit sleeping on the map awareness, but it's all good. So far, both kills both ways. A little bit of advantage so far for Epic at this point. So nice little start for them. They were able to capitalize off a bad situation, at least having their buff stolen. We're still able to go in there, get that experience onto Hecarim, and then didn't actually lose the double buff when all was said and done, and was able to give him a first blood. So Hecarim actually going to be pretty good on gold wise, it looks here, and although he's about 200 gold ahead of Nocturne, so small little lead through his jungle where he could have been pretty far behind, missing out on a buff.
Nocturne's going to try and sneak in the top lane here. Should be able to.
Yeah, I think he did get in there. Jace hasn't seen what's up yet, so now it's going to be up to Rumble just coming in here, get some last hits. Going to try to probably eat some sort of cooldown. Though Jace does have a lot of ways to get out of stuff.
Yeah, the lane will push into him. We'll see if Jace can sense this coming. Don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I mean, if they can...
He backs off after the wave, though. Down the bot, we have a bunch of trading.
Oh, wow. Thresh trying to get the hook in onto Graves. Graves getting that Ignite down. Not going to fully commit to try to clean this up. Leona gonna follow. Now we see Deshranked trying to get out of this flash after. And Leona going to be able to seal the deal. But Hecarim with that mobility rotation, like we talked about earlier, coming in here on this bottom lane, able to pick up 1 kill. Will it be able to get a second one? Trying to run this down, get that cooldown down. It's going to be very, very close. Doesn't want to get stunned underneath turret. So Leona with that regen is going to be able to escape out of this.
Yeah, they do get a 2-for-1 there. 1 kill on to each of them down the bot lane. But Hecarim being able to at least answer with a 1 kill down onto Misfortune. It's going to help their team out. It's going to help him be able to put pressure on other lanes.
Yeah, and that's actually a very, very good thing for Epic at this point. And getting him a lot of... He's actually leading his team in CS as well. Like he's kind of like the bright spot for his team right now, at least as far as we're heading into this game.
Yeah, he's had a pretty strong start. I've seen some pretty game-defining Hacarims come out every once in a while. It will be interesting to see what he ends up trying to build here.
Yep, has that Spirit Stone. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to build, if he tries to go Lizard Elder, because that is the item that, if you put it on Hecarim, like, can get him to do crazy, crazy damage. And really, like, the stats on it come out to, it's like, it's basically a BF sword, but you pay 50 more gold and you get, like, 5 to 10 more damage plus 15 to 66 true damage, like, over time, like... So you net like 76 damage for like 50 gold, like on top of a BS sword. That's crazy stats. Like, that's crazy efficiency. So it is an item that we usually see junglers that need to go tanky. So we see them buy Ancient Golem instead. But in this case, it might be a chance where we see a Hecarim ahead. Might try to go the Lizard, but we'll see.
He went Berserker's Greaves. That's interesting. I haven't really seen that on Hecarim before. See how it works out. Should let him clear a little bit faster. Obviously, level 2 boots, good on Hecarim. The extra mobility, gonna help out him getting into lanes, which he does need to do. Game's pretty even still though. So Pantheon with coming in the bot.
Oh,
Thresh
nice Grand
stunned.
Skyfall. Captain easily gonna be cleaned up right there on Thresh. So nice little
Leona.
pick up for them.
Yeah, Leona just stunning Thresh right in the middle of the ultimate there. A lot of free damage. Good answer with the push mid here. Enough people there though that they should be able to just repel that without an issue.
Yeah, the nice part about Nocturne actually does have some good wave help clear. See Rumble coming here, try to deal some damage, is in that overheat zone right now. The danger zone. But nothing going to happen down there, but bottom lane getting pressed pretty hard. It's just Misfortune trying to defend down here. Now they're going to get their blue buff. And, you know, it first started off, it looked like Nocturne was actually waiting for blue buff to spawn, and Rumble had rotated down. They were looking at mid, and so everything kind of got collapsed there. But yeah, but that big play on bot lane, we see Equalizer actually coming in for a steal pretty late, but low cooldown, so Equalizer will be back up in a bit. But that probably means that Jace can be a little bit more relaxed, because without that, Rumble's not going to really be able to tear him down quite one-on-one.
Yes. Next time we see Hecarim picking up red here, he does have his ultimate now. I would expect him to try and come relieve some of this pressure in the bot lane very quickly. And we'll see if they can put that into either a tower or a dragon. We do have Misfortune at level 6 as well. A lot of damage up top on a Rumble from Jace though, like you said. Doesn't have the Equalizer right now. Can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yep, get bullied around.
Here comes Hecarim bot.
Oh, trying to throw out that damage, but not gonna matter. Now Leona getting run down. One last hit, and they're gonna be able to seal the deal. Jace getting a kill in top lane as well. So big plays for Epic all over the board against Amazon, and really, really coming through here.
Yeah, Rumble was able to pick up the kill with Nocturne's health. Nocturne almost going down as well, but is still alive. So ends up being a trade there. But Hecarim being able to assert himself and get MF a little more gold in that bot lane.
I'm kind of to see what Pantheon's going to eventually go into, because he still is basically just sitting on Elixir. in this mid lane. He should have himself a lot of gold as well. He's about 2.1k, so
Yeah, he can buy whatever he wants. Probably see a brutalizer with the possibility of maybe Man Immune. Probably a brutalizer and then maybe go a little bit tankier. Yep.
Yep, looks like kind of building up the beginnings. Actually, Equalizer clearing a wave there, actually, in top lane. It puts a little bit of damage onto Jace, but kind of interesting play there by Rumble.
He just want to back out. He's going the Hextech Revolver build, so going for some in-lane sustain instead of just pure damage and tankiness. I'm liking the other build a little better now, the haunting guys into a Rylai's, but you know, the Hextech Revolver is what we're used to seeing a lot from Season 2.
Oh, nice little stun on Morgana in the mid lane. Not going to be spell shielded. Fear Tether going to get canceled, though, and then there we're going to see the Black Shield right after that. So nice patience in mid lane by Morgana, able to get out of that situation.
Yeah, I don't know if she really needed to use the flash there. Maybe Black Shield was on cooldown until after the flash, but nice little bit of harass, but not anything resulting out of it. Except the flash burned, so if Nocturne comes back, maybe they will be able to get something done.
Could be a scenario that actually showed that they were able to get a stun off combo. Oh, and there's the pull-in with Hecarim. We see it, and then Pantheon going bot lane, but he's going to not be able to get off any damage. He's going to have to come in this late. He's actually going to focus on to MF, who is going to be able to cleanse to get out of this. Hecarim still getting low, as well as Graves, and Pantheon actually going to be able to clean up that kill. And I cannot believe no one else died on that from Amazon's team.
Yeah, Nocturne using his ultimate top didn't even go on to Jace as far as I can tell. Maybe just get the aggression off of Rumble possibly, but yeah, it looks like they're just backing away bot lane. Morgana's not quite going to get there in time. They might be able to get the turret here. They should be able to.
Yeah, if they want to take down this turret, it is their turret to take. Funny thing is there too is like, you know, if Morgana was coming down there and she had flash, probably could have flashed in there, ulted, and, you know, caught out some kills, but instead they're just going to be able to take turret for this and might try to focus a little bit on Dragon, although I don't know if that'll work out. If there's a quick response back from Amazon.
Yeah, so Jace pulling some help top lane, putting that Paranoia back on cooldown just to try and save Rumble a bit there, forcing Jace to back off, but he's doing a really nice job. The farm is even. Rumble is still a little bit ahead because he has those 2 kills, but they're both doing pretty well up there in top lane.
Yes, that they are. At least CS wise, everybody pretty even at this stage in the game. The only thing really separating anybody is kills. Pantheon 2-0. Morgana pretty much hasn't had a lot of effect on this game besides her farm in mid lane. Showed her presence a few times, but hasn't actually gotten involved, got any assists or kills. So interesting to see her come into play. A lot of their goals actually stacked on to Hecarim at this point.
Cut out here. The shield just went down right when the Fear Tether and stun came out.
No flash, but Hecarim coming in to turn the tide. Not going to be able to get Nocturne.
No. It's going to get them both to have to back off most likely, though.
Hecarim doing some serious work for his team this game. We've seen actually kind of the theme of the day has been like junglers really making plays for their teams.
Yep.
And setting up stuff. We saw Sejuani, you know, the first game, and it's kind of that theme's kind of continued. So kind of fun to see the other day the junglers making a big statement here in AHGL.
Yep, Pantheon's ult is up. Nocturnes will be up shortly. They should just both go and buy quickly and then put those to work and see if they can take a tower or a dragon off it.
Yeah, I think it might be actually a good play for them to look at possibly making something happen in that bot lane, because they know that if it does suck up a little bit, if like Misfortune continues to push or anything like that, they will be able to make something happen. We see that ward is going to be picked up by Thresh. They do have that pink ward advantage over Dragon, so Dragon control definitely in their favor. Might be their answer to collapse on mid yet again. They have all the CC ever and long range ults, so could happen. I almost would, you know, like I almost would have. Nah, you probably don't eat that there, but it would be interesting to eat it and then try to get her to come in, but not gonna happen. We're gonna just go back off, be able to pick up her blue.
Yeah, Rumble came down, just waiting in the mid there to see if anything happened, but it didn't. He just backs off, goes back up top. farms the lane.
You know, the fact
Yeah, so Hecarim, like, normally you'd like to see a lot of mobility on him because he is a mobility champ, but they really are going to need a tank, so he's going to just fill into that role. And he's a decent tank as well, has a lot of escapes and a lot of initiating skills. So he's going to go that route, and we'll see if the kills he's got will allow him to just be the tank that his team will need in these fights that are probably going to start up pretty soon here.
Yeah, heavy push onto this mid turret. Nocturne, the Soul Man, trying to defend this. Grand Skyfall coming down here after the ult is followed up and not going to hit anybody. Bolt time going to be able to clean up Nocturne. Collateral damage coming in here. Hecarim trying to get into the middle of all this. Actually eats the Zenith Blade and catches that, and now is actually going to be able to back off Amazon very, very low here. But interesting little exchange right there. There's a lot of times where I thought some kills were possibly going to come through, but were never actually wrapped up. A lot of ults burned right there. Rumble's still tied up with Jace in that top lane. I think, you know, if Rumble was nearby at all for that, could have definitely landed out a pretty good ult. But
or Jace for that matter. Either of them, that fight would have made a huge difference. Not really sure what would have happened to both of them. I probably would have seen Amazon take a bit more of a advantage from that fight if there was a good equalizer coming out. But nope, they're just still trading up top, pushing each other around, and we're just going to have some 4v4s in the mid. Now that those global ultimates are down, we should see Epic putting some extra pressure onto Amazon.
Good little dark binding on the exit right there, the retreat. Putting some focus onto Leona, not letting her get in there and engage. Hecarim running up now from base, gonna get into another team fight more likely. Rumble is rotated over. Gray is actually sitting up, clearing out those raves, and I'm sure he's gonna rotate into this action as well. See Jace going back. Jace realizing that Rumble's finally not pushing his lane anymore. He's gonna back off, go buy up, and then meet up with the rest of his team in mid lane. They're probably gonna start some siege action going down here against this Amazon team.
Yeah, they've got a bit of time here until those global ults come up, so they can use that time right now just to try and force some sort of objective, because all their ultimates are up right now.
It looks like they're actually going to focus onto this dragon. They see them rotating over there. Morgana just trying to slow him down a little bit. Dragon being pulled out towards this brush. They're just kind of sitting there, letting it reset a little bit. Amazon fully pushing top. Graze is rotate down bottom. They're going to push mid in response, not even paying attention to this dragon. I believe that actually is pretty much the correct decision if they're able to pick off turrets after this, because not really in position to pick a fight. So the next best option would be able to just push lanes, farm up, and maybe try to get a turret if they can.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick one up. Maybe top lane. But Morgana should get there in time. A lot of pressure on mid. They're going to be able to pick that up. Epic taking the dragon, taking the mid turret. Really good use of exploiting the fact that Nocturne's ultimate was down. Equalizer out from Rumble top lane. Morgana just walks away.
Yeah, it looks like Jace is rotating up as well as the rest of the team to try to focus in on this Rumble. Will he be able to get out of this? It's going to be pretty close. Gate comes in just in time to deal enough damage. Tries to knock him against the wall or back out. It would have been the ideal, but not quite able to pull it off. Rest of the team rotating around here. They're going to be waiting for Rumble in the bush, and he's going to flash and try to get out of this. Paranoid's actually going to be able to cover his retreat. If only he had an equalizer now, but he doesn't. Leona trying to back off with the rest of her team. Nocturne will be able to escape this. Grand Skyfall is actually going to have a nice landing now. It's going to deal a lot of damage. He's going to be able to clean up Morgana. And will they be able to turn this around, though? Because pretty much the only person up with life to spare is this Pantheon, who is going to be grabbed back in. And Poke trying to come back in. Graves, meanwhile, split pushing middle for his team, is going to be able to pick up a turret. That's where he was this entire time. That Grand Skyfall, without that, they had like no damage going in.
Yeah, they would have lost that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they couldn't lose the turret because it's the one in front of it's still up. But they would have lost some more members for sure if that Grand Skyfall wasn't so perfectly placed. Hitting 2 members and just blowing them right up. Hecarim was lucky to get out of that alive.
Yep, and it looks like Epic is going to be able to take down this top turret pretty easily.
Yeah, it was some really nice aggression out from them. They're kind of unlucky to just get a trade there, but they are going to get the turret as well to equal out the turrets from the mid lane push from Graves, and we should have another fight really quick here, as I expect as soon as Morgana ult comes back up, they're going to try and fight again.
Yep. Interesting enough, in this game, actually, pink wards getting traded down to the bottom. But interesting enough, like, you know, this whole comp from Amazon was kind of built around like, all right, we have these global ults, we're going to snowball our lanes, and we saw like a really light version of that happen. But Epic kind of survived that phase of the game pretty well. And then when you come into these team fights, you know, Pantheon's ult, like, he can use it in the middle of a team fight, but you're basically locking down his damage to go do that. Equalizer coming in again at blue, not going to be able to steal it. Just kind of a really big annoyance for Morgana at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, I think Epic did a good job of surviving through that stage of where Amazon was going to be really, really scary with their team ultimates. And now, even though they have those team ultimates, a lot of them are going to be focused in to just pitch 5v5 fights. And now trying to clean up Thresh is going to be very, very close. Will they be able to do it? They should be able to get it. He does not have any flash. He has, or he actually did have flash up, just wasn't able to get enough distance to get over the wall, it looks like.
Yeah, he would have failed that flash from where he was. Didn't quite get there.